All right, so now we're talking flashes. So I had to move in my studio because it's, one, bigger. I can step back away from my client. We'll talk about the client being the head on the stick. And I also want to talk about flashes. So flashes have a range, and this is what happens. Students are always going to ask the same question over and over. What do I do about flashes? How much do they cost? Which ones should I buy? Those type of questions are always the first thing students ask. Is what should I buy? Where do I buy it? How much does it cost? I will suggest to you that if you are new to a camera, if you're a student, the first thing you should purchase probably is a lens. Okay, that's really important. The flash on your camera will get you by, after you get a good lens, for about 3 or 4 months, and then you will tire of it. And when you tire of it, that's when you start getting into a little bit better flashes. But you need to jump right into the flash water. When you go out and buy flashes, you could buy flashes for like 20 bucks, these really cheap ones that are absolutely crap. When you jump into the flash water, just jump, okay? This is an SB700. This is the deepest water I'll go. So there is an SB900. Again, this is the deepest I'm going to go, and I do have a lot of cool equipment. The SB900 was it's just too much. For the level of photography that a beginning student needs to know, the SB900 was it's good for events. So let's say you were way in the back and you didn't want to go anywhere closer to your client. There's the senator, what's his face, and you got to get a picture of him from across the banquet hall. Sure, SB900, awesome, good solid flash. This one, good enough. You can get up pretty close or pretty far away. It still works out well as long as you know how to use it, and that's what we're going to get into. Now, while we're on the topic, this is just an introduction to materials right now. Okay, so we have these brackets that are on all cameras, and they hold flashes. Okay, they are right here. When you do that, it's a very direct light. So right in front, and what it does is flattens out the entire photo. You've got to understand that we now have to deal with angles of light and where we're going to place light at. We can use static lighting, and static lighting could be, something like these things up in the rafters. Like it could be a dish, it could be a spotlight. But when we're taking pictures of people, it really helps to have some kind of flash because it freezes them. And I can create just about any light that you could possibly think of with just a flash. That could be tungsten lights, just warm, cool, whatever. There's a filter for that, I always say. And there's always ways to manipulate light via DIY projects, do it yourself. These flashes are amazing in the fact that you can build a lot of things off these flashes. We'll get into DIY projects a little bit later, but if you went and searched for DIY photo flashes Nikon SB700, you'll find that people have made these into any kind of flash you can think about, including like that big guy back there. See, that's a studio flash right there in that box. Technically, you can hook up one of these flashes into one of those and turn one of these into that. So that flash is relatively more expensive. It's very static. It can't travel with you as much. I got another one up in the ceiling. This is called a beauty dish, and its job is to diffuse light. So we'll get into all this. So this video is an introduction to equipment, kinda, an introduction to the studio, and then we'll go on to setting it up and playing around with this flash first, and then these flashes next, and we'll have to talk about remotes. All right, so that's the game plan. Let's go on to the next video.